It's hammer time, everybody, and welcome to the Jersey Shore Podcast. Today, we've got a packed show from breaking news to topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the Hammer talked about, then share the Jersey Shore Podcast to others. Damon also looks forward to your comments during this episode. Tonight's Jersey Shore Podcast starts now.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Jersey Shore Podcast, brought to you by the Great America's Polls Network. I'm Damon Galdo, Republican nominee for Congress in New Jersey's 1st District, and your host of this show tonight. Tonight's show is a little different, and this isn't really about headlines. And headlines, it's not about that. It's about political talking points. It's about you. It's about every voter out there. No matter what letter is next to your name on your voter registration card, every one of us is living through the same reality. Groceries cost more. Property taxes keep climbing. Utility bills don't stop rising. They just keep going up. Your families wonder if they'll afford, whether they will afford to pay their bills or not. I mean, seniors worry about whether they're able to stay in their homes they spent their lives paying for. And too many people feel like Washington and Trenton are listening to everyone except the people they were elected to represent. And I see that all over the place. So tonight, I'm speaking directly to three groups of voters. First, Republican voters, Democrat voters, and finally, every independent and unaffiliated voter who believes this country deserves better than endless political divide. This isn't about hating one another. This is about deciding what kind of future you want to leave your children. So let's begin. I'm going to say, dear Republican voters, all right, this is like kind of a letter I'm writing to all of you out there who's listening. I'm asking something simple of you. Show up. In our primary, about 20% registered Republicans voted. Think about that. I mean, 8 out of 10 Republicans stayed home. And nowadays, you don't even have to, you can stay home. And you can request a mail-in ballot. There's early voting too. But only 20% came out. If we want different results, and we can't keep expecting someone else to do the work. I mean, you don't have to be a politician. You don't have to knock on doors. You don't even have to write a check, although I would use that. But you simply have to vote. Every election, people tell me they're tired of the direction our country is heading in. They tell me they're frustrated. They tell me they feel ignored. Well, voting is how people stop being ignored. I'm not a career politician. I'm a construction worker. As you know, I say it all the time. I've spent my life building things with my hands, solving problems, and working beside people who simply want a fair chance to provide for their families. I'm asking Republicans across South Jersey to stop assuming that someone will save this country. Be the someone. Vote, volunteer, talk to your neighbors, bring one person with you, a friend, to the polls, whoever it may be. If Republicans actually vote, this race becomes competitive. If Republicans stay home, nothing changes. So now I want to go to dear Democrat voters. This message isn't for party insiders. It's for lifelong Democrats who no longer recognize what their party has become. Listen, I used to be a Democrat. I was told to be one. And the Democrat Party was a lot different when I was growing up. And then they went way too far left and went crazy. And listen, I'll tell you right now, I don't like the way too far right either. There's the woke left and the woke right. But we all have to come together in the middle and figure out what is common sense. So if you're someone who believes in hard work and believes America should be safe, believes government should spend responsibly, and believes parents deserve a voice in their children, what they're being taught in schools, believes our country should come before politics, then I want you to know something. You don't have to agree with every issue to vote for me. You don't. You simply have to believe our government should work for the people again. Many Democrats I talk with tell me they feel pushed aside by voices that have become louder, more ideological, and less willing to tolerate disagreement. And trust me, they don't tolerate disagreement. The far left, try to have a conversation with them. They just scream and go, ah, and then they run away. And then some of the far right do the same thing. Not as much, but still, just a point. Let's come back to reality. So whether you describe those influences as the Democratic Socialists of America, which they are, I will call them communists at this point, the progressive movement, or simply the far left, many voters feel the conversation inside the Democratic Party has changed dramatically over the past decade. And I feel that it has. And I don't know if you have. I know not a lot of Democrats watch this show, but I hope it gets to some Democrats and they see that we want to come together and still maintain what this country is all about. So if that's how you feel, know that you're welcome in this campaign. I'm not interested in representing only Republicans. If elected, I represent everyone in New Jersey's first district. Whether you voted for Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or you've never voted Republican before, I'll still answer your call. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to represent you. I'll still fight for your family because that's what representation is supposed to look like. So, and then I'm going to go with your independent voters and unaffiliated. You're probably the group that's hardest to convince. And honestly, I understand why. You've watched both parties promise the world. And you've heard speeches, you've seen commercials, you've watched politicians point fingers this way, that way, while very little changes. And I get it. I really do. So don't vote because of the R next to my name. Vote for me because of who I am. I'm not coming from Washington. I'm coming from the job site. I live the same inflation you have. I paid the same property taxes. I worried about the same bills. I've stood in steel-toe boots wondering why government keeps making life harder for working people. I don't pretend to have every answer. I don't. But I promise you this, and I will answer to you, not political insiders, not lobbyists, not party bosses. The people of South Jersey hired this seat. The people of South Jersey should control it. I tell people all the time in my union, we have business agents, and they're basically like the government of my union. So we go to work every day, and we pay their salary. If we didn't go to work, then they wouldn't have a job. It's the same thing when you pay your taxes. When you go to work every day, you pay the government's salary. They work for you. So that's basically what it is. You don't look at them as they're no one special. They're not. They're just elected officials. Somebody you elected to work for you. That's how you have to realize it. You elected them to work for you. They are your employee. And that's what we have to get out to vote for and realize that, hey, if you're not doing your job, you're fired. That's basically what it is. That's what an election is. So judge me by my word. Judge me by my character. Judge me by whether I keep my word. That's all I ask. And at the end of election day, this election isn't really about Republicans versus Democrats. It's about whether Americans still have a voice, whether working families still matter, whether our children will inherit more opportunity than debt, whether government serves the people or expects the people to serve it. It's not how it's supposed to work. I believe South Jersey deserves a representative who has lived the same life as the people he represents. So welcome to the Jersey Shore podcast, and thank you all for joining. I have two great guests coming on today, but before we bring them on, I'm going to bring you to a couple things for breaking news. So let's roll into that. So sorry to hear that Lindsey Graham passed away. There's a lot of different stories out there. It looked like it was cardiac arrest. I know he just came back from Ukraine. The president said he spoke to him about an hour and a half or 2 hours before he passed. So I don't know exactly what it was, but they're looking into it, and I don't want to go any further into it, but it's sad that he passed. I mean, he served his country, and thank you, Lindsey Graham, for serving your country, not just in politics, but he served his country in other ways as well. But so a moment of silence for Lindsey Graham. All right, next breaking news, we'll go to that. Now, this is the military launches third day of strikes in Iran. I mean, I I don't know what to think about this. I mean, no, it's necessary. Trust me, it is. They need to stop. But these people are out of their minds. Like it was necessary that we had to remove a nuclear weapon out of their hands. Absolutely, 100%. But come on, I just I I get it. You got bombed. You don't like it, and you have new leadership, and they just want to retaliate. It just come to a deal. I think that Trump really wants to just make a deal and make. He's the type of person, and I don't know him personally. Honestly, I don't know him personally at all. But it seems like he wants to be liked by everybody. I don't think he wants to do this stuff. But when they screw up his agenda, and they screw up what other countries' agenda is going to be, and they call death to America, and they just want to kill people, and they mow 40,000 people, their own people, down because they protest because they're not happy in their own country. Sorry, you're going to get it. So it's peace through strength. Or now, his words are FAFO. So kind of the same thing. So it just sucks that this is happening. I don't want it to happen. Nobody wants it to happen, but sometimes things are necessary in life. You have to do it, even though you don't like it. But let's bring on our guests. I had him on before. Let's go on our first segment too. And well, this is Frank. This isn't Frank. This is actually Ankush with the wrong name on there if you're watching the screen. So, well, I'll call you Frank from now on. No, that's Ankush Bhandari, and he was on before. He's a great guy. I mean, he's got a lot of good things to say, and he's a patriot. And we talked about this before. We'll get into it as well. And the last things that we talked about and things that we want to talk about in this episode. But Frank, let's bring Frank on. Now,
Hey,
there's
Damon.
Frank.
Thanks for having me on.
Yep, thanks for coming on. The man of the hour. This young man, he's 15 years old, and he gave a speech last night at an event that we were at. He was like shaking like this, but I went through that before, so. But he put together a nice event with the help of others. But he's been backing candidates in South Jersey and working very hard. I've never seen 15-year-old do as much as he does, and just like Angles does too. Angles is not on tonight, but he deserves same credit. But that's why I give him both of them Patriot Week Award before. But Frank, you're doing a great job, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Damon.
So, all right, so let's get started with Hammer segment number one. This is the Golden Hammer. So, it's the wrong segment title there. That's from the last episode, I believe. So we didn't. The thing is, we didn't get to go through this with my producer because I had a meeting with my team, and we were talking about a whole bunch of things. So I've been very busy, and I didn't get a chance to go through all this with my producer because we usually change this stuff up that you guys see. But this is basically, dear Republicans, dear Republican voters is what it's supposed to say, and that's why it was part of my monologue. So there it goes. So I'll start with you, Ankush. So when I say dear Republican voters, what would you say to them?
See, my only thing I will say, vote, vote, vote. You have one day, or I will say 15 minutes, take from your schedule, come out and vote, and then go back for 2 years or 4 years, or whatever the people you are voting for. If you are voting for a congressman, you can wait for 2 years. If you are voting for governor or the presidential race, come out and then you can wait for another 4 years. Your 15 minutes can make a big difference to your constituency, to your town, to your state, to your country. Sitting at the home on the coffee table and speaking, this is not good, that is not good, will not make any change. The Constitution of America has given you the right to elect your representative. Please come out and vote 100% with no single voter sitting idle dreaming somebody else will do his job. No, the you are the only voter, and vote accordingly, and vote for your rights which the Constitution has given to you. That's what I can say.
All right. So, Frank, I want to ask you this too. And listen, the amount of work that I'm a regular guy, so are you, and this was Ankush. But me running for office, it's not an easy thing. It's, trust me, it is not. There's an event every single day. I have a full time job. I have two young kids, and I got to make their games. I run the, help run the network and this podcast, and it's a lot on your plate. But when it comes out, and you chose the same thing. I mean, I know you're only kids, and you won't have that in your life. I know you don't have a full time job. You have the summer off. Good for you. But you still go to school, and you were doing the same thing where you were in school. And I'm not asking for empathy or sympathy or anything like that. But when I look at the help that we get from the state GP or NRC or I don't know, I'm sorry, RNC or NRCC, and they really don't want to help out with New Jersey. Why is New Jersey getting ignored so much? Because they are. I mean, I understand they don't want to throw good money at bad. That's what they see, but it's never going to change unless they get the help. You have regular people running with Justin Murphy, myself. I mean, up and down the state, Greg Milley. I mean, you can name it. Regular people that are stepping into the game, and they're putting everything they have into it, but we're not getting the help that we need. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the Republican, the RNC, the NRCC, their job, sorry, their job is to support all the Republican candidates in the whole country. It's their job too. And, when you have regular people running, they should be helping these people because you're facing a juggernaut, Donald Norcross. He has millions of dollars, but us, we don't have as much as he does because we Republican candidates in New Jersey do not get the chance to face the juggernauts, the juggernauts, the money. So I think the NRCC and the RNC should rethink what they're doing.
I think so too. So, Ankush, what would you say to that? Like, would you ever step into a race like this? I mean, I look at Justin Murphy. I mean, he's got it worse than I do. He has the entire state, and he won the primary. He's a great guy. I mean, he's one of the smartest guys I ever talked to and most genuine person. He's riding his old school Mustang up and down the state every day. And he has a job too. He doesn't have any kids, so that's good for him. It's one less burden on him. But he's got the entire state. It's 21 counties. I have 3, and this guy is putting everything he has into it. And he's not getting much help. Well, he has people helping him, obviously in New Jersey, just like I do. I have like 29 staff members now, not staff, but volunteers and staff, and that are helping me out, which is good. But he's got the entire state. But you would think that we would get some help from the outside. They'd look at this as unwinnable. And what do you think about that? Like, when you call it unwinnable, then you're just throwing it out the door. It's unwinnable because you're not going to help. That's my thoughts.
See, the main purpose of NRCC or even the Democrat organizations which they have is fundraising, campaign support, recruitment, advertising, who run for the political official who run for the office, their political campaign they have to advertise. So, and if you see, all the 3 are supported by the first one, which is fundraising. So NRCC has to think over that we understand that they can't give millions to everybody, but at least they should support the candidates with whatever the amount they can, especially the candidates who are running against such incumbents or who are running against what I can say, corrupt politicians. If they really want to make a change anywhere in America, whether it's New York or New Jersey or California or Connecticut, wherever they want to make a change, they have to support the local candidates which have already been endorsed by the local or by their voters in the primaries. And I think that's not of their that's their job profile, that's their responsibility, one of the responsibility in their work, in their job. And if they are not helping out, I don't think they are doing their job right.
Yeah,
Be-
well, I mean, I do understand they want to keep the incumbents elected.
Excuse
It's important. They don't want to lose any seats. It's fine. And I'm not trashing right now, that so I don't want to get that. I don't sound like that. I'm venting a little bit. Could use a little help because I don't know who who else would jump in this race, like Murphy, myself, Melee, Herzig, whoever it may be, who's in the race, who would do it and just and be endorsed and say, oh, well, I thought I was going to get help. It's like, well, don't abandon me. But it doesn't matter. I'm going full force no matter what. Donald Norcross has never seen an opponent like me. Dude, trust me, he has not. I am coming full force, and I am going to win uh, this election in November, 100%, hands down. He's never challenged anyone else's petition in his whole entire political career, whether it was in the assembly, and whether it was in the state senate and in Congress for 12 years now. Never challenged anyone's position to get someone removed from the ballot, but he did it to me. So it tells me something. But I'm going to just keep going, up the good fight, and just want everybody to know that. Um, but but the whole point of this part is to get Republican voters out to vote because that's who I need the help from. I don't. If RNC doesn't want to give me any help, and NRCC doesn't want to give me any help, I go to every PAC that's out there, and they're like, "Oh no, we are doing it to Donald Norcross. We're doing it to Bhandari." So I'm just getting grassroots donations right now, which I thank everybody that is giving it to me. I really appreciate it, but I'm going to keep on fighting, and that's fine. I'm not. I'll do it myself if I have to. Well, I'm not doing it myself. I have you, Frank, everyone that's working on my team. I really appreciate that. I might be really tired after November and maybe take a nap for a month. But other than that, I appreciate everyone out there that's on my team that's helped me. And the Republicans, we need to get people out to vote.
Well, the NRCC should realize that the GOP will never take seats if we don't fund candidates to challenge Democrat incumbents, because you could defeat Norcross easily if you had the funding to go up against them, run ads, and make sure everybody knows about you in the district, because you could easily win, I'm sure. But, the NRCC has to at least give you some money to help with that, or else what's the point of having them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
exactly, because see, to reach your voters, you need money. You need to send the younger generation, whether you use TikTok, social media, or Instagram, and nothing is free. If you have to reach the age group of, let's say, 65 which don't use much of the social media, but they want to see the flyers or the door hangers in their houses, or even a simple pamphlet in the newspapers or anything, or the lawn signs, you need money for that. And we are not reinventing the wheel.
Speaking of
uh,
long signs, I just unloaded like 1,000 of them in my garage. I sent a text out there to a team because the Angles and Frank are 15. I said I wish I had two 15-year-olds that could actually help me out with this because I have two herniated discs in my back. I said they'd save me from the third herniated disc because the boxes were so heavy loaded in my garage. You'd see it's all stacked up in my garage, all the long signs. I just bought. So not just making fun of it, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everything takes money. Everything takes money, and RNCS is not a new organization. It is there from many decades or years, and they have seen all the campaigns, right from the presidential to the local council member too, right? So I'm not debating that RNC should come and work only for New Jersey, but my only point is that, if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. You have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if you want to make a change, you have to have the support of the voters. And if have to work for that. Change can't come
Yeah.
automatically. Say boom boom shakra, then how your whole district become turn red, right? I wish that you have that magic wand with you.
Yeah.
I wish, but wishes doesn't comes with the reality. You have to work for that. And I think the major role which New Jersey GOP can play over here, they can also influence a national organization that like an NRCC. That boss, we need our change. We have given Trump a lot of votes, 43% votes. If you want to have the same, uh, you know, flow going for the votes, you have to come and help our candidates. And it is an open fact that the southern Jersey counties are very much inclined to Republican Party, whether it's an Ocean County or Sussex County or Warren County or what is that, Monmouth County or Huntington County. These all are inclined. They know what is right and what is wrong, because the North Jersey we get all the airflow from New York. Like Bergen County where I live, or the Union County, the airflow from New York. So people are more where they work, they listen that more. But
Yeah.
at least people who can make the change, people who are destined to make the change, who are putting their 110% to make the change, organizations should come forward, whether it's New Jersey GOP at the local level or the NRCC or whatever the organization or the clubs we have or the packs we have. They should come forward and help the candidate.
No, you're correct. I mean, they should, and I believe that we're going to get there. I really do. I believe that we will get there. I mean, you look at Jack Cigarelli in Jersey. He got a lot of money went to his campaign, and somehow he got beat badly. No one expected it. I don't know if there was cheating involved in there or what. I mean, I know there's a lawsuit, against New Jersey because they found out that they've let people outside of the state vote that don't live here, and there were some illegals. So that just was a new. I should have put that on breaking news. That just came out the other day. They're being sued by the federal government because of false, votes that came in. I don't know how many there are, but it was just a headline that I saw. So we'll talk about that on the next podcast and going forward. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
so
Jersey, I also want to make one more point. Jersey is very much inclined towards vote by mail and early voting. And to do that, we need the support from the local GOP as well as from the national one, so
sure,
that they can help us and the voter. That
sure,
boss, okay, you can't go. We need each vote. If a house is five people, all the five we want vote. We just don't want, okay, my husband is out of city, or my son is out of state, or this has happened, or I'm going to my sister's wedding, and blah blah blah, any XYZ reasons, right? If we say, okay boss, you are leaving, the voting has started, please help us to vote. That's how the Democrats win. They're very very strategic planning on these two things: early voting and vote by mail. And even President Trump in his election campaign has said we have to start focusing on vote by mail, especially in the blue states, which are more inclined towards Democrats, or even in the swing states, I will say, like Pennsylvania or Arizona or any other states.
sure. All right. Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break and we'll talk about your Democrats after this. But I want to thank Donald for coming on. He's a loyal listener. He always makes his comments there, and I appreciate that. And anybody out there, listen, you can go. It doesn't matter what social media platform you're on. You can make a chat, make a comment or a question in the chat box, and we will see it. We will talk about it, or we won't. But other than that, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll talk about the event last night. We'll talk about Dear Democrats, and then another thing too, and then we'll go to the next segment. So stay tuned, everybody.
Yeah, this one's for New Jersey, for every working family that's had enough. Name's Damon Galdo, and I'm just getting started. Yeah.
All right, everyone, welcome back to Hammer segment number 2. That's just a portion of the song that's going to play at the end, but we just throw it in there. But anyone that's still watching, stay tuned. I want to talk about one thing. Tomorrow, I'm going to meet with Governor Ron DeSantis in Philadelphia, which is a good thing. So I'm going to tell him he better endorse me, like just like Van Drew, and until you'll see that video later. But it's not really endorsement, but it's close to it. But I'll have a conversation with him too. But it'll be nice to meet Governor Ron DeSantis tomorrow and have a nice sit-down conversation with him. But before we get into Dear Democrats, this is the wrong title on this one too. New Jersey had the crossover. That's from last episode, but it's fine. But Frank, I wanted to talk to you about last night's event.
Yeah.
So tell everybody about it.
So in Franklin Township, we had a primary during the primary election, and we had two great candidates, Dave and Greg, and they were in against our township incumbents, and we won 2-1 because the residents really spoke up for who they want in our municipal building. So what we did last night was we wanted to hear the concerns of the residents. We wanted them to bring forth what they want us to do when in the future if we get elected. So what we did was we brought together an event at the VFW, and we allowed residents to speak. Damon, you came. All three of our Gloucester County Commissioner candidates came. I had my municipal candidates there. Justin came. And we were able to talk, and I gave a speech because we are, with the help of Commissioner DeSilvio, we are starting a Republican club in Franklin Township. So I gave a brief speech on that, and Damon gave a speech, and all of our candidates gave a speech just to let the residents know who is running and what options they have on the ballot to represent them.
So no, it was a great time. A lot of people came out, and it was good. And you got a lot of praise from, I would say, everybody there.
Yeah.
So it was good. You're doing a lot of good work, Frank. I got to give you props for it. I mean, at your age, what you're doing, helping out the candidates, you're taking fire on social media from people. He got the loser of the week last Monday. What was his name again? It was,
Luis Alvarez.
Yeah, Luis Alvarez. Yeah, this guy's an adult that went after a 15-year-old because he was giving out Van Drew signs, and then actually you said something about Mitch McConnell, like hopefully he's okay or something like that.
Yeah.
And he attacked you on that. This dude's a D-bag through and through. He really is. So I'm going to put it out there again. So I'm not doing loser of the week this week, but he's the loser of the year in my mind. That guy had no reason to even do what he did. I didn't. Glad your dad didn't drive up the turnpike. But yeah. So anyway, so this episode is this segment is Dear Democrats. So I want to talk to Democrat voters. So Ankush, before I even get into it, I want to ask you, what would you say to Democrat voters in this state right now? Because we're not just my district too. We're outnumbered. There's 240,000 registered Democrats. There's 130,000 registered Republicans, 210,000 registered Independents. But this is for Democrats. What would you say to Democrats right now that are the far left? They're not going to listen to you at all. They're just and close their ears. But I call them common sense Reagan Democrats. What would be your message to them?
See, I will say them decide your candidate on 5 factors: economy and the jobs, if you are workers like me and you, okay? Affordability, because that's how your property taxes, even the rent of our apartment has skyrocketed, the housing cost of living, electric bill these days, how this governor has raised it. Oh my God, it's above the sky now. It's not on the sky, it's above the sky. Public transportation, because Jersey needs a good transportation. Not the PATH train, all the trains, all the public transport is in big sham. The fourth factor factor is education. Whether you have a you may have some grandkids or nieces or nephews. See the level of education. Jersey one time was number 2 state in education. Now I think it's 13th or 14th in the whole overall states in the US. And the last is healthcare, because healthcare is too expensive now in Jersey. And without health, you can't work, you can't afford, you can't have good education. So healthcare, decide these factors, what these people has given to you, whether they are in the Congress or whether they are in their local, what they have given, and then decide whether you want a change. And if you want a change, then look for the other people who promise this, give him a chance or give her a chance for 2 years and make the change and see what changes he do for you. If you think out of 5 he do tick mark 2 or 3 in 2 years, I think he passed he passed your report card. So change is necessary part of democracy of republic. You can't, if you don't want a change, better you move to Cuba or any other place which has dictator over here, because in dictatorship you don't have a change. See China, he's the president from last I think 15 years or 14 years. Putin, he is prime minister and president since 1999. So if you want a change the people, and you will get a new idea, new administration, and new work to be done.
So I hear you there. My call out to dear Democrats is basically, I used to be a Democrat, and that's the way I was told to be. Not by my family so much, but by my job, by being in the union. And you have to back Democrats. They're the party of the working people. That's who they are. They back the working people. The Republicans are the elitist class. And then when you really look at it, it's the opposite now. Whether it was like that before my time or not, I think it was. But Republicans are for the working class. Democrats are the elitist class. Democrats don't care. Well, I'm not talking about the voters. I'm not talking about the common sense, regular Democrat voters that I'm mentioning. Because this is my message to them. That you need to realize that it's not the same party. They're full of the Democrat Socialists of America. They're communists, actually. And you're seeing them getting elected in New York. You're seeing them getting elected in Colorado. I mean, all over the place. They're taking over your party. So this is my message to Democrats, voters out there. Your party is being taken over by some faction, which is socialist, communist, Marxist, and you have to pay attention to it, because look at what they want. They want to abolish prisons, abolish police, wide open borders. I mean, that's what they want. They really want that. And these are people that have no freaking clue of history. They don't look at history and say that doesn't work. I mean, I never heard anybody in my entire life to abolish prisons. That's a new one to me, even for a communist, or Marxist or socialist, to abolish prisons. So no prisons whatsoever, just let it be chaos. I mean, that's just somebody that wants to destroy the United States. I mean, if you want to abolish prisons, then you want complete chaos and destroy the United States from within. And everyone always should remember, I always talk about January 10th, 1963. Google it. You'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to get into it, but you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. And not every, I'm not saying every Republican is perfect, or elected Republican is perfect. There's some that have been in office for too long. That's why I signed the term limits agreement. I think you should only serve for so long, and you can't have a Joe Biden in for 60 years. I never had a real job, or I could go on and on. You guys know what I mean. But there has to be like a common sense person that has to realize that, okay, we're going to elect regular people that have never been a career politician, have never been elected to this office. I mean, I was elected to committee, in West Deptford, which, no big deal, but that's it. But not a career politician. I'm a builder. and I'm doing this for my family, your children, my children, and that is why I'm putting in this fight. And Democrats need to realize that the people that are elected in office, you may not have thought that they are who they are, but you can see who they are right now. They're not the people that you think they were. They may say the one thing and say the other, but look at what's happening to your party. And just look it up yourself. It's falling apart. It's getting taken over by communists. So the best thing to do is I'm in the middle with everything. I used to be a Democrat years and years ago. I'm a Republican now. I hate far right, woke right. I hate far left, woke left. We have to come back together as a country. So it's not about the party; it's about the person. So you need to look at my website, look what I'm about, and not just me. I mean, other Republicans that are running that are competent and sane and they're common sense. So I mean, and that's what Frank's been doing. Frank's been helping out a lot of people like that. So Frank, before we go to the next break, real quick, what do you want to say about that?
Well, what I think we need to do is I think people need to start looking into the candidates rather than voting on a party line, because if you just vote a party line, you'll elect people like Mom Donnie, you'll elect socialists, or if you're a Republican, you could elect a far right person. So what I think people need to do is if you look back at past electoral maps from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you'll see the whole country be red or the whole country be blue because people researched the candidates and didn't vote on a party line. So that's what I think people should do, is start researching candidates. That's what I did before I help any candidate. I look at who they are, what their platform is, their background. And I'll say, yeah, this is a good guy. I'm going to help this person get elected.
So how many Democrats are you helping out there? I'm sure no, I'm kidding.
Oh, I help Mom Donnie. I love Mom Donnie.
So, all right, we're going to take another quick break, and then we're going to wrap it up with the last hammer segment.
Hey, it's great to be on with you. This is a great podcast. It's a lot of fun and it's informative and it's real information. It's none of the frills and none of the nonsense that you hear on the legacy media. Just telling the story of what's happening right now. It's what I do with my newsletter that I get out to anybody who wants to see it. It's what you're doing with this podcast. America needs to know what the real deal is, and you're the real deal.
Right. So this one is it's the wrong segment title again because it's from last time. But this is dear every other voter, unaffiliates and independents. So we'll talk about that. Well, before I get into it, start. I don't know if you guys ever met Van Drew in person. Usually he's wearing a suit, but I went to his Van Drew family barbecue, and I walked up to him, shook his hand. And he's got Popeye arms, the dude was. I'm like, he's old. He's older than I am. I'm looking. I never looked at somebody's arms like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's like, what's he doing? How many pull-ups or curls he's doing? And then I actually met Laura Trump 2 weeks ago too. Same thing. I don't know what it is. Is it a Republican thing, or maybe they have the time to work out? She's a lot taller than me. Everybody is anyway. But I look at her. I shook her hand, and I'm like, look at her arms. I'm like, wow, she has like guns on her. It was like, I don't know. I just wanted to throw it out there as a joke because it was kind of funny when I was telling people about it. But other than that, independent voters, this is what I want to say to you. I need you to lean my way. I need you to look me up. I need you to look other candidates up, like Milley, Herzig, Murphy in New Jersey. I mean, this is an important thing. I know you tend to you don't buy into a party. That's why you're independent. But you look, you can, like Frank said earlier, it's not about the party, it's about the candidate. Look into it. Look into everybody. Look into what they're about. Listen to this podcast. Listen to other candidates' videos they put in there. Look at their platform. And that's what it's about. Look at what they want to do. Look at who they are, where they came from. If they're not career politicians, they're people that just want to get into this because they love their state. They love their country. They love their children. They want to see a future for your children as well. That is what it's all about. I am the type of candidate that wants to hear from everyone. I don't care who it is. If you disagree with me, I want to hear from you more, actually. But far left, they don't want to do that. They don't want to. They just shut down and that's it. But I would like to have a conversation with you because even though I may not agree with you, maybe you could teach me something. Maybe I can teach you something. Even having the conversation is important. Even if we walk away and agree to disagree. But the fact that we have the conversation and you're willing to do that shows that we are willing to try. And it's not going to just shut things down, walk away, and it's either you're here or you're here or you're done. We are all American. And that's part of the thing I gave in my speech last night. I'm not going to get into all of that, but that was my point. But yeah, so and Kush, your thoughts on that to independents and unaffiliates?
Uh, that's the main deciding factor, I think, in any election. Not only at the national level, like the presidential election, but also at the local level and at the Congress election. My advice to them is that listen, understand, use your brain, use your experience, see what has happened in the past, and then decide whether they want to stick to one candidate which they are voting since they are since unaffiliated, or they want to experience the new people, or they just want to sit at home thinking that without their vote the change will come. They are the very important deciding factor, because if they turn out, they can swing the election in a big way. And if you think that both the aisles are wrong, then decide which aisle you think is better. The people who are sitting on which aisle, whether Democrats or Republicans, which is better. What you have gained in the last so many years having the same candidates representing you and representing your district. So make a change. Change is for progress, and it's the law of nature. Talk to your candidate who are running, speak to him, ask your question, how tough they are. It doesn't matter, because unless you don't speak up, unless you don't meet somebody, you will not know what's going on. Otherwise, you are sitting in your silos and think everything is red and white. Then it will be red and white. So come out, talk to your candidates, see what plans he has, advise him what you want. Maybe there are a couple of things your candidate, as you mentioned, can learn from you and think that they are also very important for his voters. So come out, talk to your candidate, make your priorities, see how the things are, and then shape the election in your constituency. That's what I can
All
say.
right.
You know.
So, Frank, I'm going to go to you, and then after this, I'm going to close this out. But your thoughts of getting independence? What would you say to them?
Well, one thing that I would say to independents are, I think the independents need to come. They need to meet candidates face to face. We need to encourage independents to research candidates and realize that you're going to have to vote one way or another for a candidate. So they have to choose the lesser, because some people will say, I'm not going to vote at all because both our parties are corrupt. Well, that's not, well, what I would do is pick the lesser of the two, you know. So that's, I think, independents need to come out, talk face to face with the candidates who they knock on their door. They need to read up on them, and they just need to come out and vote for who they think is right.
All right. I believe that you are correct in that. So I'm going to close this out now. I want to let everyone know whether you're a Republican, Democrat, Independent. If you're a Democrat that's going to vote blue no matter who, then please stay home. But if you're a Democrat that is open to interpretation, open to listen to someone that is in the middle with all these issues, that just the right issues that's better for the future of our state and our country, then think about it. Look into Republicans. I know a lot of rank and file men and women that are in the union that I work with. They're Democrat, but they're afraid to switch to Republican. That's fine at this point. I try to get them to switch before the primary because I needed their vote in the primary, but we're past that point. I'm past the primary. You shouldn't be afraid to switch your party. It doesn't really matter. But I think we should actually change this state to an open primary for everyone. That you can't just vote on one party; you can vote on either one. I think that as well. But it's about the candidate. It's about the person. You have to look into them. It's not just the party alignment. Vote blue, no matter who. Vote red, no matter if you're dead. Whatever you want to call it. I made that up anyway. But the thing is, look at the candidate. Look at what they're doing. Look at all the candidates that are running about throughout the state. They're doing it for a reason. And if they've never been elected before or never ran before, they're doing it for a reason because they love their family. They love their state. They love their country. We are losing across the board. I'm not saying Republicans, Democrats. I'm not categorizing anybody in that sense. We are losing this country across the board between the division because everyone looks at politics. At least in my lifetime, it's the whether you're going to be friends with them or not, whether you're going to date them or not. I mean, it's unbelievable. We are American. All of us are, except for the illegals, but they're not American yet. Maybe they will be one day. But no, seriously, on a serious note, just look at the candidates. Look at what they're trying to do. I mean, these are people that have jobs, they have children, they have wives, they have husbands, and they're doing this for a reason because they care. The people that showed up at the event last night, they showed up because they care. They care about their town, their state, their country. But we have to come together and care together because the more we tear each other apart, it's over. If you love this country, if you love what you have in this country, which is the greatest country ever to see, and anyone who's seen on this planet. I mean, it's the greatest country in the world, and we want to continue to be that way. Just realize that, and be happy with what you have, and be happy with what these candidates are trying to do to keep what you have, and get rid of the ones that want to take it away from you. This is your country. This is your state. This is your town. So when government wants to reach in your pocket and take something away from you, take away your liberties, take away your money, no, just get with other people. And that should be the message. This guy doesn't want this to happen to you. This woman doesn't want this to happen to you. So realize who these candidates are. Not just go in there and hit the button because they're blue or hit the button because they're red. Go in there and hit the button because you know who that candidate is, and you look them up and you watch this podcast, maybe, or you watch their social media, whatever it may be, or you went to their rally. But get out there and see who they're about. That's all I'm asking. There's not a lot of work that you have to do, is other than pay attention and spend that 15 minutes, like you said, Ankush, to go out and vote or do it by vote by mail, whatever it may be. But just pay attention to the candidate. I'll tell you one thing. John Fetterman, he's a Democrat, right? When he first got elected, I wasn't about it. I wasn't living in PA at the time. I was in Jersey already. But it was like, how can anybody elect this guy? He had a stroke. I didn't know. So I started following him more and more. I'm like, how did this guy get elected? He is the biggest shocker in the world to me. He really is. He's common sense. We might not agree on everything, platform-wise. But he is for America and he's common sense. And I was like, wow, man, I would love to have him on my podcast. And he's going up against his own party because he's Democrats party's going crazy with these communists and socialists. And I'll tell you, he was a shocker to me. And that guy, he makes a lot of sense. Even with the stroke, when he came back from it, you can see he still has some issues with him. But he's not stupid. Yeah. He knows what's best for America. And I say to people all the time, if people want him to come to the Republican Party, I'm like, no, don't come to the Republican Party. Stay in the Democrat Party and make them sane again. We need somebody like you over there to just get them sane again. and bring them back to earth. You know what I mean? So, but guys, I just want to say thank you very much for joining me tonight. This was on the fly. I had a lot of stuff to do today. I'm an event every night, and anybody wants to just keep following this podcast, and I'll do what I can. I'll put the events out there that I'm going to, and I'll be meeting with Ron DeSantis tomorrow. Hopefully that goes well. So maybe I'll give him the big Trump handshake.
Can I just say?
Go ahead.
Can I say for 30 seconds? Like,
Yeah, sure.
just think before you vote. There is a comparison of Bob Menendez, who was caught in a corruption cases in New Jersey, versus Lindsey Graham, who passed away and just have $500,000 in his assets. And this Bob Menendez or even Ro Khanna, Nancy Pelosi, and the list is endless. Even I think they don't know how many millions and millions and millions of dollars they have. So think over it. A person who is just getting couple of 100,000 per year, even if he work for 200 year, he can't have $200 million or $400 million in his account. Think over it. It's very important. It's your money. It's my money, which they are enjoying. It should come back to us, for our children, for our city, for our state, and for our veterans, and for our people who are fighting for the right causes, for the education of the kids. It should come back to us, not to a couple of politicians, corrupt politicians. So think over it. That's very important factor. You should think before you vote to any person in the whole country.
Yeah, you are right. And Nate, real quick, we have a minute or two left. Chris, we'll go with you first. You want to tell anybody where they can find you? You want to give any your social media out there or anything like that, or what website?
Are you saying me?
Yeah. If you want,
Yeah, I see. I'm on the Facebook, Ankush 0705, and same is with my ex Ankush 0705, and Instagram. I think I have something because 0705 was taken by something, but I'm in all the social media. Yes, I'm not in TikTok because I'm anti-China. No Chinese product I use. I always want to have either in America or non-China.
right, you got it. Frank, it's up to you if you want to tell people where they can find
Yeah,
you.
well, you can find me on Facebook, and what I would say is follow Justin Murphy for United States Senate and follow Damon Galdo for U.S. Congress.
Well, this is my podcast, and you mentioned Justin Murphy first before me.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. Justin's the man. He is. I love Justin.
he needs to get a smartphone. We need to
Yeah,
start.
please, can we start a GoFundMe for Justin Murphy's smartphone? He's just old school. He just won't get it. So he got lost directions last night. He called. By the way, Justin, I hope you're watching or you're going to see this. He called me after we went to the event last night. He's like, "Do you know how to get from 47 to here and there?" I'm like, Justin, I put in my GPS. I said I know how to get home from here already, but if I need, I can't give you directions off the top of my head. So I don't know where you're going. And he's like, I'll figure it out. So, but I just had to share that with everybody. So
Well,
Justin, smartphone Justin campaign.
Well, another thing I want to say is when we're talking about the people not researching their candidates or just voting on the party line, you can look at Graham Plattner. After everything that came out about him, there's people still saying, "Oh, I'd still vote for him. I'll
Good
pinch
point.
my to pull the lever."
That's a great point. Graham Plattner, I mean, there was like 16 different issues that came out about him. Nazi tattoo, allegations of rape. I'm not even going to go through all of them. It was a ton, but they kept Bernie Sanders kept getting on him. I support him. Elizabeth Warren. I support him because
He's my man. That's Elizabeth Warren said.
because they don't. The Democrat leadership, they realized that they isolated men, like real men. It was toxic masculinity and all that stuff. So they're like, oh, we need a manly guy, and they picked this guy. And it's like they'll stick behind him no matter what. And then once it came down to he was losing in the polls, that's when they came and said, oh, we're going to get rid of him. They Joe Biden'd him. That's basically what it was. That's what the Democrat leadership does. And I'm talking about Democrat voters. I'm going to end it with this. I'm not talking about Democrat voters. You are smart people. I'm talking about the common sense Democrat voters. Look at what your party is doing. Look at who is taking it over. They were willing to support a guy with multiple allegations of sexual assault, rape, Nazi tattoo, saying he masturbates in porta potties. I mean, seriously, like, how do you come out and say that and then you're still a candidate? And they would burn it down. I'm 100% behind him. And then Elizabeth Warren, yeah, he's our guy. I was like, and then as soon as he falls behind the polls, it's like, whoop, cut his head off. That's done.
After all the allegations came out against him, and when he was removed from the ballot on TikTok and all over social media, all the Democrats in Maine, they were crying about having to peel off the Graham Plattner for U.S. Senate stickers off their car.
Yeah, they were mourning him. They were saying,
I wouldn't be, if I was a Democrat, I wouldn't be mourning him. I'd be disappointed. I supported him.
Yeah, it's the world we live in now. That's why we have this podcast. That's why we try to talk common sense into people. And again,
See Eric's novel. What happened to him? Eric, what happened? He was running for the governor of California, right? So the list is endless,
So, all right, people, I'm going to leave you with this before I sign off. Pay attention. Look at what the Democrat Party is doing. I'm not saying Democrat voters. I'm talking to the voters, but look at what your party is doing. They're getting lost. They're gone. There's no future with them. And let's not look at parties anymore. Look at the person. Look at the candidate and what they talk about. Have some damn common sense. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. So, guys, thank you very much for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it, as always. Frank, you're the man. You're 20 years. He's got 20 years to be president. He's 15, so got to be 35 to be president. So he might be the youngest president ever in 20 years. Hopefully, I'm still alive. Ankush, thank you very much. You're awesome. Love having conversations with you all the time. You're the best. So, all right, guys, sign it off.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah. This one's for New Jersey. For every working family that's had enough. Name's Damon Galdo. And I'm just getting started. Job site dust to the streets of the shore. Steel-toed boots, yeah, I know what I'm working for. Middle class hurting, every bill going up. While suits in D.C. say, man, just trust us. I'm a builder by trade, put my sweat in the ground. Now I'm building up hope for my hometown. Jersey's my home, blue-collar soul. I don't make excuses, I get it done, that's all I know. I felt the pressure, I've lived that grind, trying to give your kids a better life. I won't forget where I came from, man, cause I'm built by work. I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not a career man who forgot what hard work means. They talk real big, but nothing ever changes. While Jersey keeps drowning in the same old pain, I'll build a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah. Donald Norcross been there year after year. Same old story while the struggle's still here. Claims he's for workers, but look around town. Rent sky high, grocery bills breaking us down. Where's the relief for the middle class grind? Cause all I see is folks falling behind. I ain't got decades in some DC chair. I got skin in the game, cause my family's here. Time, they had their shot, and tell me, Jersey, what have we got? It's time for change, time for a stand, time for a work, and not another plan, not another plan, not another plan. Yeah! I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. Not some suit who sold you fantasy. We waited long enough, it's time to demand a future built by honest hands for Jersey strong, for this great land. I'm Damon Galdo, built by working hands. Yeah, this ain't left, this ain't right. This is fight for what's right. For every mom working double shifts, every dad praying they don't miss. I'm running for my kids, running for yours, for a state that deserves so much more. our children's dreams for a better way. I'll fight for Jersey every day. No empty words, I'll take the stand, cause I'm built by work. Yeah, I'm built by working hands, fighting for working families. While the old guard keeps playing the same old game. But we're done with waiting, done with excuses. It's time for a man who knows how to do this. I'll build a future strong for our kids in this land. I'm Damon, Galdo, built by working hands. New Jersey 1st District. If you're tired of the talk and ready for work, walk with me. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Galdo, Galdo. Make the crowd chant with no music.
The Hammer thanks you for watching tonight's Jersey Shore podcast. See you at the next packed show, from breaking news to topics that will keep you informed. So please click the subscribe button to get notified of upcoming episodes. If you like what the Hammer talked about, then share the Jersey Shore podcast to others. Damon also looks forward to seeing you on the next episode.